Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye. Bye. Did Jake Haro get graped in the shower? Wow. Let's find out what really happened. Let's get to that intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure that you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. Gracias. So, did Jake Josephine Haro, did he really? It's actually Jake Mitchell, but I call him Josephine, right? Because it's bound to happen. Did Jake Josephine Mitchell Haro get graped in the prison shower? Did he get assaulted on his way to the chow hall? Did an alien come down and attack him while he was in his cell? Did a drone drop an H-bomb on him? These are the stories that are going around on social media, and I know they're even more than stories, they're wants. People want bad things to happen to this guy based upon what he has done to his children in the past. But at the end of the day, I'm here to tell you, dispel the rumors, and let you guys know from really inside information that none of those things happened. He was assaulted twice. Once by an unknown assailant who decided that if for no other reason he was going to get off where he was mad at, to which it was wrote up as a mutual combat. And the second time on his way from the RHU to the shower area, whether it was coming back from the shower area or going to the shower area, I wasn't informed of that. But I was told that he got into a scuffle with the police officers, with the correction officers, because he wanted his damn phone call, right? This ain't the county jail, and this ain't a movie, puto. You don't got nothing coming, especially in the Minnesota segregation, the RHU, the restrictive housing unit. Just take your dumb ass back to your cell, dry your fucking dirty curled feet off. Oh, hobbit feet, right? But there's a lot of stories going around. And I'm going to read you something that was sent to me by a friend of mine that's going to, when I seen it, I kind of chuckled, I laughed, but you don't take nothing as a laughing matter, especially when you're given information, you got to vet it. So this is something that's circulating out there on social media concerning Jake Haro. For those of you that don't know who Jake Haro is, you should by watching my channel and other channels. He is the father, allegedly, that has been convicted, is doing 31 years to life for the unaliving of his son, or his, I guess you can call him his son. I really don't like to use those words, but the child that he made, baby Manuel, also, he is also the abuser of his other child, which is Promise, and to which he didn't get a harsh sentence, but now he is suffering every day for those two children. So let me read to you what was sent to me. And again, it's unverified, and I'm going to break down how I got down to the bottom of this bullshit. According to Unverified, says it right there, online reports, Haro was allegedly attacked by another inmate while walking from the yard to the chow hall. The same posts further alleged that Haro was later assaulted and graped while in the showers. These allegations have not been independently verified by law enforcement or the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR. Social media claims also that Haro was transported to an outside hospital for medical treatment that could not be provided by the facility. Update. Action News Live has learned that Jake Haro is currently housed at CMC in San Luis Obispo. At the time, CDCR has not released any official statements regarding the reasons for the transfer, the nature of injuries, or Haro's current condition. Previous allegations circulating online remain unconfirmed. Important, all information above is based on unconfirmed social media reports and limited available information. This remains a developing situation, and details may change as official information becomes available. Action News Live will continue to seek confirmation from CDCR and provide updates if then verified details are released. If anyone has any, as someone on the inside where Haro is at can confirm this, would be great. First of all, that whole fucking thing is bullshit. Action News talking about, hey, We can't get our shit together. So if any of you guys, hey, Gunners Collective, on the tira, con permiso on the tira, any of you guys, if you guys can get some information, that would be highly appreciated. Come on now, man. People are going too far with circulating propaganda and bullshit stories on social media. The facts remain. Yes, I think a lot of us that have been following this case closely want to see Jake Haro suffer at the hands of fate, right? We want to see bad things happen to him because he did a lot of bad things. But at the end of the day, you don't wish violence, you don't wish inappropriate behavior on anyone. What's going to happen is going to happen. Believe me, the Lord is undefeated. Social media is also undefeated, but people think all social media stories, there's a lot of credibility to the stories. That's just like the video I did the other day about, what up? Man, do I got some likes? Okay, just making sure. That's like the story the other day where 6ix9ine was poked on 31 times, man. And I made a video saying that never happened. That was just another fucking news story going around with false information. And there's so many people that went crazy on me. I'm unsubscribing to you. You're putting out false information. Look, I can't help it you're mad that he didn't get hurt. You know, I can't help it that you get upset that someone don't get stabbed 31 times. You know, I mean, if you want it to be true, just look at the video that fucking where someone said it happened and then just go to sleep. And that's it. And you could dream about fucking him getting poked 31 times. The fact is, it didn't happen. And I'm going to remain true on this channel and tell you guys what did and what didn't happen. What did happen to Jake Haro was he has been assaulted twice while incarcerated, both at CMC, never at Wasco. He was never touched at Wasco State Prison. And you got to understand, in most receptions, it's hard to get to anyone. You're kind of segregated to you and your cellie if you have a cellie. Now, there are some movements to the chow halls, some movements. And I don't know if they're doing self-feeding there nowadays or they still walk to a chow hall. But there's opportunity that does exist for someone to get off on you or for you to have a mutual combat. That never happened at Wasco. He stayed at Wasco less than a month and was transferred immediately to CMC in San Luis Obispo. Now, CMC traditionally has been known as a softer prison that houses lower custody inmates as well as high custody inmates with less risk, right? That's where, of course, the guy from That 70s Show is housed, Danny Masturbatorson, and so many others like him that have like-minded charges, right? And usually they're just doing their time. They're getting with their program, and that's that. Now, Jake Haro is a little bit of a different animal. So many people are so concerned with what's going on with him. They're living and they're breathing and they're hoping that something bad happens to him. Now, I have never heard that he got raped in a shower. Is it possible? It's very possible. But again, I've never been to CMC, so I don't know how the showers are conducted there, how they're ran, and how they look. Now, if you think showers in prison, you think old school Tracy prison, you think old school San Quentin, with all these showers on the wall and a whole bunch of butt-naked individuals in there sharing soap. Okay, that's what people think, like the movies. You know what I'm saying? When it's fucking Magic and Miklo, fucking, don't look at my children. No, don't look at mine. No, don't look at mine. Why'd you look? I seen you look. Why'd you look at me look? Because I look, but it was looking at you looking. You know what I mean? Nah, it ain't none of that. In most showers, in most level 4 prisons and level 3s, they are individual showers. Now, there are cases where you and your cellie can get locked into a shower, right? And usually what your cellie does is he hangs out right there looking outside at the day room of the bars while you do your thing. Then you fucking grab your towel, you dry off it, and he goes in there and does his thing. And then boom, that's it. That's your cellie. You guys ain't on no weird shit. It's just, man, hey, that's how they did that. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to be taken to the shower individually. They'll take you and your cellie. One goes upstairs, one goes downstairs. You guys do your thing. You shower, you come out, boom. Now, as far as someone going in there giving you the manhandle slam while you're in the shower, I don't know. Okay? But I have never heard that story, verified or unverified, circulating. But I guess it's out there that something bad happened to him at the showers. I could tell you guys, immediately when I heard that and the other allegation about him being assaulted while on his way to the chow hall, I tapped in. I tapped in because I wanted to know if this has happened recently since I did the stories about him being assaulted by the correction officers, which was verified and rectified and certified as truth. And then the other story of him initially being assaulted by that one individual. The fact of the matter is the person got back to me and said, "Fool gazy. That shit is worse than fucking that diamond that fucking Lefty Two Guns was trying to sell what's his name? Johnny Depp, right? Donnie Darko, or what's his name? Donnie Blanco, or fucking Donnie Dimes, whatever his name was. Donnie, I forget, Donnie Bosco. Whatever the fuck that dude's name was, right? The one that, you know what I'm talking about, Donnie Brasco. I knew what I was talking about too. I just wanted to see if you guys were up on game. At the end of the day, it's like this. Whatever happens to Jake Haro is going to happen. Don't fight it. I said, don't fight it. It's going to happen. But people wish death upon people. They wish hatred. They want drama. They want to see bad things happen. In due time, they will unfold, or they won't. You know, the punishment has always been the incarceration. Whatever happens while incarcerated and during incarceration is basically based upon your actions, how you are, where you're set, geography. That's how it goes in prison. Like I said, man, I can go to a prison and it just be all good in the hood. Just have it my way. I'm making all the prono. I'm getting all the sugar. I'm having all the visits, all the packages. It's all good. And then the next day I get shipped to another prison and it's all bad. Everyone's trying to kill me, right? So it just depends on your interactions, where you're sent, and timing, pretty much. Now, CMC is probably the least possible place for Jake Haro to be assaulted and raped. But then again, when you have people who have those types of cases, they're chilling. You know what I'm saying? They might want to clap some shit. You know what I mean? It might be a standing ovation. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, I can pretty much tell you, according to my inside source and who I talked to, that never happened. He never was assaulted while inside the shower. What it is people are taking the stories that are put out there that are truth, and they're putting too much tapatio on it, too much crema on them tacos. They're elaborating just a little too much for the drama, for the view, and they're lying, basically, right? Yes, they're getting it mixed up. Oh, they hear the word shower, and automatically the first thought that comes to their mind is someone getting raped in the shower. That's a wild fucking imagination, right? But actually, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard that was, hell nah. Serio? Right? Let me tap in and make sure that this ain't truth, because if it is, this fucking video is gonna go. And I called and homeboy was like, nah, hell nah, right? So I'm here to tell you, no, he did not get assaulted while in the showers. What happened was they heard that he got assaulted on the way from the showers, and immediately their wild minds started to roam. Like a Metallica song, wherever they may roam, where they lay their head is home, right? Well, let me tell you, man. Anything that happens to Jake Haro in that prison, I'm going to go ahead and let you know. And there's other people, not just myself, that got inside sources or people that they talk to that know a little bit about a lot of it, right? So it's kind of crazy when I could sit there with someone else who also gets their information from within them walls, and we can converse, and their story is exactly the same as mine. That's when I know for sure what I've been told is the truth, what they've been told is the truth. But when the story is way off, distant, and different, that's when I have to go back and tell my motherfucking inside, hey, what happened? Why don't you tell me that? Well, that shit ain't never happened. Then I believe, right? But no, he was not fondled while in the shower or none of that. Like I said, he's been assaulted twice. Now, if something has happened since then that hasn't been put out there, then that's quite possible. And I know a lot of people want to see him hurt. They want to see him, touched on, or whatever it is, to whatever degree you want him to suffer. And that's fine. You know, when it's a man who has hurt his children, who has abused and murdered children, then it's like all bets are off, right? Whatever happens, happens. But you're not supposed to wish bad upon anyone. You know, that's bad juju. That's bad karma. You know, I don't wish bad upon someone because I know what those types of charges and what those types of people, the type of energy it generates. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, when you're a bad person and you've done bad things, you got nothing but bad and negative energy coming. And that's the truth. That's how this world works. It's a small world after all, for reals, right? Not for fakes. So I could see Jake Haro quite possibly in the future getting hurt over and over again, maybe to the point where he decides to hang his shoes up, where he decides, you know, it's enough is enough. But at this point in time, like I said, from what I know, there's only been 2 cases where he's been assaulted. One of them was written down as a mutual combat. Now, whether it was a mutual combat or not, that remains unknown, but that's how it was written up. The other one was just basically him getting into it with a correction officer. It happens all the time. Okay, if you're giving the correction officers a hard time, guess what? They're going to dump you. Dumping you means slamming you on your motherfucking head. Okay, I've seen dudes on the way to the shower getting real argumentative with cops, and boom, they get dumped. Okay, now it doesn't happen necessarily on the GP yards too much, because what happens if there's a disrespectful officer? the sergeant is going to be notified or let known that this is a disrespectful officer, and they're going to check him. They're going to check him just like a gang member on the yard would check his homeboy. If you see a Norteño or a Southside or a Wood brother or anyone else, a Africano brother, other being disrespectful towards the canine, towards the CO, his own people are going to check him if it's unwarranted, right? If that cop didn't do nothing, he's just doing his job, and this dude keeps fucking with him, they're going to check him, and they might even check him in a pointy way, okay? But he's going to be checked. As far as the COs, same thing goes. If they got an officer, man, that's antagonizing people and he's making it dangerous for them to do their job, they're going to get at him. A sergeant's going to pull him to the side like, calm down, Officer Baker, right? They're going to calm him down because they understand that the way it works in the general population yards in the California prison system is if the COs, they're just men. They bleed just like everyone else. And if they decide to be disrespectful, they can get it too, right? That's the philosophy there. That's the way it goes. So on the SNY yards and the 50-50 side and the non-good, the no good, fucking whatever you want to call them yards, right? The degenerate yards or whatever. It's a little bit of a different thing. No one has to talk to anyone. No one's going to get checked by anyone. They're just going to do what they do. So it's actually a little bit more wild. You see more assaultive behavior towards officers because there's no politics there to say, there's no one there to tell you what you can and cannot do, tell you, hey, you can't get off because you're going to shed a bad light or get our cells hit or nothing. So motherfuckers will get off on the cop. Don't think just because they're over there on SNY they're just all good and they ain't doing nothing. No, that's probably where most of the assaults in the California Department of Corrections happens. Jake Haro is on an SNY yard. So yes, with that being said, he has more action at getting assaulted there as he would in the GP yard. But of course, with his case on the GP yard, it wouldn't be an assault. It would be a dandada, a bye-bye. Right? And they would never place him on a general population yard. Now, that doesn't mean that somewhere along the line, the way that CDCR is moving nowadays, that you won't find them integrated with some active gang members or some active people from GP. And then it's going to go up, I'm sure. Then he better protect himself. He better wear a motherfucking turtle shell, turtle power, because it could go bad for him, real bad. Because what they are doing in the CDCR is they are integrating people. They're bringing people that they figure are programmers or they want them to program, and they're mixing them with SNY guys, and it's going off, right? Now, eventually, I believe, well, I know what that is all about. That's so they could reinstitute indeterminate shoes and lock people down that they don't want on them yards and win that lawsuit. But at the end of the day, in the meantime, in between time, anything could happen. We've seen so far since they've been starting this integration, which they've been doing for a few years now, it hasn't worked out quite well. There's a lot of bodies thrown all over that yard. Just how it is. So anyways, for those that are fucking putting out fake stories on Jake Haro that he was raped in the shower or he was dead, look, do what you do. But I'm telling you guys, as a consumer, as a viewer, as someone who watches the content to try to stay up to date on what's going on with them, that shit never happened. That ain't true. He never got touched on in the shower unless he did and he liked it. And then he didn't tell anyone. And then that's on him. But as far as an unconfirmed, unverified report, I'm here to verify right now that that didn't happen. Not at CMC, at least. And like I said, if he was touched on in the shower, he liked it. He liked it. Anyways, so I just wanted to put that out there about these fake stories that are being, put out there. Don't believe everything that you hear. Half of what you read, nothing you see, fucking, and AI now got it sewed up, so it didn't happen. Even if Tupac is dead, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. Anyways, with that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I do want to say this before we go, man. You know, Rebecca Haro just went to court on the 21st, and it was extended. It was extended and continued to next month on the 26th. So we're going to see what happens. I've been getting a lot of people in my DMs asking me questions. What happened? What happened? I initially did a video immediately. She was just continued. Her plea is still not guilty. You know, we're going to go into a phase where they're going to continue her felony conference. So she'll get one more crack at it. And then they'll start preliminaries about 2 weeks later, 10 days to 2 weeks later. And that's when we'll figure out exactly what's going to happen with her. If she's going to be offered a deal or take a deal, it's going to be on this next court date. If not, she will be going to trial. And then we'll see if Jakey the Snakey pulls up and blames her, or he takes the deal for her, or whatever the fuck happens, right? I do believe he will be in that courthouse eventually, called as a witness. I mean, who better to call than the motherfucker who killed the baby with you? Damn, it's crazy to say that, huh? Again, man, justice for baby Manuel, justice for Promise. We're going to continue that. Remember, Jake, he is not yours anymore. He is ours, and that's just the way it is. This video is sponsored by Vario Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the area, go get you something cold to drink, some icy, right? Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service out there in Arizona, man. Google the homeboy, look him up, and if he's in your direct area, man, have him pull up and do some work. We are here to support our local and small businesses. Boom. You know what it is. This is the gun, man. Bang, bang.